everybody, it's Emily from Naptime Creations, and today I am coming to you from a hotel room in Kuala Lumpur, which is in Malaysia. And I'm here with my husband. He's at a conference and I decided to follow along. And I'm today going to do a no-sew project because obviously I'm in a hotel room and I don't have my sewing machine, but I do have a hot glue gun. And so today, armed with a hot glue gun, I'm going to show you how to make a really cool project which makes a great Christmas gift and is Christmas decoration. So I gave out several of these a few years ago and I'm making one more for a gift today. So several years ago, and you can see those if you click through on the post. Today I'm making a few changes and that will be reflected in how I'm doing the tutorial today. So anyway, you can look at the pictures of the one I did before and you can see this one and, you know, make whichever one you like best or a combination of both. So my backing today is a super thick red felt. So it's quite stiff and it's quite thick. So it's just it was by the yard and it was wider, but I cut it into this narrow thing. So I'm going to be I will be probably cutting off this extra red, but I didn't know how tall my tree was going to be, so for now I'm leaving it. The other thing you want to do is you don't want to start your tree right at the bottom because kids aren't 6 inches tall, right? So even an infant is going to be 20 to 25 inches, and so you want to make sure you've got your tree up off the ground so that your ornaments can start right where the tree is. The other option is to hang it off the ground. You don't have to put this at the very bottom of your wall or your door or wherever you're hanging it. So I'm going to start it about where I've got it laid out, which isn't, I don't even have measuring tape with me here, which isn't that high off the ground, maybe 15 inches. So then I would also recommend hanging it another 10 inches or so off the ground. So what I'm going to get started doing is just show you this is what the template looks like. So the tree is in several pieces, and when you print off the template, it's 2 papers wide. So the papers are labeled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you have to first tape the papers together and then cut them out, and I already got this far. And each paper template has kind of 2 lines. So you can either choose to just cut one and then maybe use different colors of felt for each piece, or you can cut out 2 of each one and kind of make your tree textured. So that's what my plan is today. And then I also gave you templates for different kinds of ornaments, and you can use the ones that you think look good or not use the ones. I've also got some red rickrack, and I'm going to use this to make a garland on the tree when we've got it laid out. So the other thing that I've cut out already is this green is going to go on the bottom, and it's going to be the pocket to hold all the ornaments that you're not using. So when I give this as a gift, I generally give enough ornaments for each kid until they're like a teenager. So if they have a 5, a 3, and a 1-year-old, you know, for the 5-year-old, I would probably count 10 ornaments, and for the 3-year-old, you know, then you'd have 12, and the 1-year-old, say you'd have 14. So I total that and make sure that that many ornaments were included in the case, so they don't have to do any work, but can each year just pull it out and add an ornament as they go. So I'm going to get started cutting the felt, and I went a little crazy felt shopping before I came, but I have, I think I'm going to make it out of these 2 dark green felts. I have this lighter, but I just don't think that's as Christmas tree-like. So I'm going to start by cutting every other piece with, not sure if I should make the back of every one the same and the front of every one the same, or I should mix it up, but we'll just start cutting and see where we go. So let's see, my pins are, I thought I brought them over here. Oh, right here in front of my face. All right, so we are going to work in this interesting workspace. But I'm going to start by cutting out a few of these main tree pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to pop a few pins in so that while I'm cutting, it stays in place. And while I'm doing this, I'll tell you a little bit more about why I'm in Malaysia, and I'd love for you to tell me what you're up to tonight and what's going on. I think the big discussion going around on Facebook today was Halloween costumes. Are you finished? I feel like a lot of people are doing last minute costumes, and I saw some pictures today of kids making their own costumes, which I think is super great when kids get old enough to really make their own and do that. So I am finished because I only made that one, the peacock costume that I did on Facebook. That is the one costume I'm making this year because the boys are in school and their school doesn't do anything for Halloween. So actually in the spring they do a book day, and all the kids dress up like a character from a book. So that is the big dress up day at school. So I'll have to oh, I'm on with the Cubs. Oh my goodness, what competition. The World Series and me, huh? Maybe the wives can be watching the sewing project and keeping one eye on the Cubs game. I grew up in the southwest part of Wisconsin, so definitely know all about Cubs fans, and my brother, even though he's from Wisconsin, is a big Cubs fan. So he's super excited about the World Series and is once in a lifetime opportunity to watch them play. So now I've just cut this one down to the second line, and I'm gonna cut it out of lighter felt. My mom has friends that are die-hard Cubs fans, and of course have been waiting for this for forever. So my mom's friend's husband was at the last game of the playoffs, and so she didn't know if he would be able to get tickets for the World Series, but I haven't asked her. So I am in right now I'm at the Shangri-La in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So we flew 4 hours south of Hong Kong on Tuesday night to come here. I'm just tagging along. My husband is at a conference, and this summer I was looking at tickets, and he talked about wanting to come to the conference. And I said, what if I came with you? And so I looked, and plane tickets were like $120. So because he's attending this conference, the room is paid for, his conference is paid for, his ticket's paid for. So essentially, I can come on this trip as long as we pay for my plane ticket. And it was so cheap. So anyway, I tagged along. My mom is with the kids in Hong Kong, and I get to come, and essentially what I get to do is just hang out all day in a hotel room and have some quiet time. So I totally took over this hotel room and made it my craft space yesterday. And I bet when the cleaning lady came in last night, she was like, what is going on? Who is staying in here? Because I've got a felt table runner going over here that I'm working on. I had this laid out on the floor. I've got all kinds of good craft stuff going on. So all right, so there is the start of the Christmas tree, and I think it's going to look really cute. And the one thing that I want to mention too is if you cut out 2 of each, you can kind of extend the tree and make it taller. Because I'm not exactly sure. I was laying here yesterday trying to figure out if this is going to be tall enough to measure kids. I don't want it just to be like till they're 6. I kind of want it to be until they're pretty tall. So if you cut 2 of each, you can actually make the tree taller by sliding up the second piece and extending the template. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to move that one over because I'm done with it. And then here's the next piece. And so we'll be able to do it like that and then slide the next one up as well. So I'm going to just go every other, although I actually do have a third color of felt. So maybe it's a little bit different. All right, so I'm going to add this into the mix, this color, and go with it. So yeah, during the day, yesterday was our first full day. My husband is busy at his conference, and it's the conference, it's called ERCOS, but I'm trying to think what that stands for. East Asia Regional Educators. I don't know. It's a conference for school administrators and from people in Asia. So whatever that stands for, that's what it is. So anyway, so he's busy at the conference, and I just get to hang out in the quiet hotel room, and I brought a number of projects to work on, and hoping to finish this project while I'm here. And then other things I'm working on is every year I make my family a photo book to archive our family photos, and so I try to keep up on the year as we go, so that I don't get to the end of the year and we take a lot of photos, so I don't want to get to the end of the year and have like 2,000 photos to put in the book. So yesterday I was updating 2016 and getting it to caught up to date. So I did through October, and I finished okay, so that one's gonna go there. And then we'll do the light one again. And I am switching between paper scissors and fabric scissors here as I cut the paper and then go back and cut the felt. So if you're just using craft scissors to cut felt, but if you do have special fabric scissors, I would recommend not cutting paper with them because it will dull them so much faster. All right, so now we'll cut this. What was I going to say? So he's at his administrative conference and I'm doing this. So I did our photo album, and then the other thing that I'm working on is I have these cassette tapes from when we were kids. So they're called Jungle Jams, and they're like a radio show for kids that was put out by World Vision, the kids' hunger thing, World Vision. So anyway, they put out these radio shows, and they're about animals in a jungle, and they all have like good morals for kids, and we loved them growing up. But they're on cassette tape, and a couple years ago, my mom gave them to me because we have a cassette player still at our house. I don't even know where it came from, but we have this like old boombox type thing that has a CD and cassette player on it. So my kids have been listening to these Jungle Jam shows, and they're really hard to find, like because they don't make them anymore, and the ones you do find are super expensive because there's hardly any of them around anymore. Okay, so you can put these really close together, or you can, I'm going to extend this up a little bit again just to try and get myself a little bigger tree. Okay, so the Jungle Jams, I am trying to figure out how to, I wanted to make copies of them to give to my siblings for their kids, since this for us is like a fun childhood memory. So on Amazon this summer, I purchased this thing that says it turns old cassettes into MP3 files, which is awesome because then you can burn them onto CDs or put them on your iPod or whatever you want. So I've been spending the day yesterday playing these tapes and using my computer plus this little machine thing that I bought on Amazon to turn these old cassette tapes into MP3 files, which from there I can either burn onto CD or put on a thumb drive. And my plan is to give to my nieces and nephews for Christmas all these old radio shows that they haven't been able to hear because they've been on tape as a Christmas present. So anyway, so I'm working on a lot of projects from my hotel, and yesterday, I mean, I'm in this gorgeous place. The thing is, I have been here before, so I don't really feel like I need to go out and see the city, but it is a beautiful place, and yesterday I didn't leave the hotel till like 5 when my husband and I went out for dinner. So today my goal is to get down by the pool for a little bit and enjoy. I mean, we never stay at nice hotels. When we travel with our family, we are total like budget hotels, and usually I'll spend enough to get a pool, but that's it. Because with the kids, you don't need to stay in a nice place, you just need a place to sleep. Plus, I like to travel, and I always say I'd rather travel more and do it cheaper than travel less, more expensive. So anyway, we're staying at the Shangri-La, which we never do. So this is actually, I need to go check out the pool. I'm sure it's super nice. And anyway, so we did for dinner last night. Hong Kong doesn't have, they have some like American restaurants, but they don't have some of my favorites. And this city has Chili's. And I know Chili's is like far from an upscale, nice place, but I worked at Chili's when I was in college, and so it always has like held a special place in my heart. And they have a Chili's here. So of course last night I had to go to Chili's for dinner, and I told my husband we can go someplace else the next few nights, but we got to hit up Chili's on our first night. So I was satisfied with my chips and salsa, and so here it's cut like this, but I think I'm going to reverse this for a little more texture. But it's looking cute, right? Isn't this really fun? I'm loving the colors and how it's turning out. So make sure that you click to the blog post and go download your own template so that you can make one, whether it's this year or next year, but you'll have, if you have the template, then you can make it when you have a chance. And I've also included the ornament template. So if you click through the blog post and you see the other type of Christmas tree that I made, which is a totally different look, and you like that one better, well, go ahead and make that style. But you can download this template for the ornaments. So I didn't, on my other post, include any ornaments. So this is a great way that you can also have access to the ornaments. And then you don't have to go find your own ornament outlines. I mean, it's not hard. You can search Google Images and you can find pictures of anything you want. But I've done the hard work of putting it all together, and so hopefully you can just go ahead and grab it and make it. So let's see. Last night we had dinner at Chili's. Today my goal is to hit up the pool and finish taping these cassette tapes. And then I also have some other photo projects going, and yeah, I'm just trying to relax but also keeping busy. But you know, the fun thing is for me, I'm by myself with no kids. So even if I'm working the whole time, this still totally feels like a vacation because I don't have kids hanging on me. Yesterday I didn't do any laundry or any dishes, you know, those types of things which I don't mind. Daily life chores are great, but this has totally has been a break for me too. So I'm going to enjoy it. We're only here 3 days, so I'm going to take advantage and enjoy the time away. So anyway, that's what I'm up to, and I thought this would be a really fun and easy project with me, and then, you know, show you how to put it together and just kind of tonight and just be the inspiration for doing this. So has anyone started their Christmas shopping yet? Is it too early? When do you start Christmas shopping? I always have all these ideas swirling in my head, but I don't usually start until mid-November. But I don't know, when do you think is Christmas in all the stores in the US? Like, is everything Christmased out already? I haven't been back in the fall for a long time, so I don't really quite know when Christmas starts, but I know that it gets earlier and earlier every year from like what I see. So yeah, we here, I would say Christmas doesn't really hit the malls and the stores until I don't know, mid-November, early November. They'll have like the Christmas tree up and everything in the shopping malls. But although, you know what, I do know that when I was in Hobby Lobby this summer, before I left, I was at Hobby Lobby, and they already were getting, the end of July, the first week in August, they were already putting out their like Christmas decorations, which is so crazy, so early. I can't even, I'm thinking I can barely do Christmas this week because it hasn't even been Halloween yet. I totally am like, let's get through Halloween. Now, I don't wait to finish Thanksgiving because that's too late. Plus, Thanksgiving, Christmas, kind of those holidays to me seem to go together. They're all the like, you know, the family holidays. So I don't wait to finish Thanksgiving, but I do generally wait to finish Halloween before I go full force with any sort of Christmas crafting or things like that. But I couldn't think of another project to make for you guys while I was sitting in a hotel room. So anyway, we're making this while we're here, and it's going to be a fun project. So we're almost done with the tree, and then we'll start working on putting it together and decorating it. So wow, so this got nice and tall, and just by extending the layers. Here, let me slide this so you can see. And the thing is, you want your tree pretty narrow, because unless you have like 10 kids, you're not going to have a lot of ornaments on the tree for a while. So you don't want to make a really big fat tree because you want it to look decorated even if you're only going to have a few kids and a few ornaments put on every year. So the narrower it is, the more decorated it'll look without very many ornaments on it. So that's another reason I'm going to stick this red garland on it, is to just add some color while we're waiting for it to fill up with kids ornaments. So I'm going to top it with this green, and I will put a yellow star on the top, but I didn't have any yellow felt when I was packing, so I'll have to go back and buy some yellow felt. And also I made this like star ornament template, and I don't have any yellow felt, so I'm going to wait to cut those out until I get home. But I did cut out some of the other ornaments, and after we get this glued on, I'll show you. Okay, I'm going to plug in my hot glue gun since we're almost done cutting. I'm going to plug this in so it can start to heat up. We'll be able to do it. Okay. I'm going to switch position. My legs are falling asleep a little bit. I'm not used to working on yeah, my legs are hurting. I was just thinking, I'm totally not used to like sitting on the floor for doing this. So I'm going to shift position and hope that my legs don't go numb as I'm doing this for the next little bit. So, oh, Mandy, there's Christmas stuff out in the UK. All right, so it's kind of starting to hit the world. I mean, I know on Facebook, like when I scroll through the pages that I follow and the other bloggers that I follow, there's tons of Christmas stuff out already. So it definitely is. My mom has asked for the kids' Christmas list because she likes to shop earlier than later, and so it's around. Okay, so there is our finished laid out tree, and I love the way that it looks. So we've also this is the rickrack that I bought, and after I glue the tree down, I'm going to, first, I guess I'm going to untangle this. I'm going to glue this on like a garland so that there's color on the tree even before we get the ornaments on. So again, you could totally make this and just glue a bunch of ornaments on it, but so I'm going to add this on after we get it glued down. You could totally decorate this and it just be a wall decoration. But the growth chart aspect that I'm making it for is that you have a bunch of ornaments, and each year you measure your kid and you glue an ornament on where they are. So here's, you know, Sally and Mary and George, or whatever your kids' names are. And then you could just use a Sharpie. This is what I've done in the past, is use a Sharpie to write your kids' initials and the year directly on the ornament. So just mark on the ornament the year and your kids' initials, and then you glue it where they are. And then when you pull this out the next year, you can be like, wow, look how much George has grown since last year, or whatever you would, you know, however you want to do it. So first we're going to glue the tree down, and then we'll talk about a little bit more about the ornaments. Let's see, I have 2 different color brown. Which should I use for the tree trunk, do you think? The light or the dark? I think the dark looks more tree trunk-ish. So dark? I'm going to go dark. I don't hear any objections. Yes, and the comment was just that this can move. So this is a growth chart that, yes, can move with you. So if you are going to be in a number of different homes and you know you're not going to be staying, then this is a growth chart that you can pull out once a year and show your kids, and that also, yeah, can move with you. So you just hang it up. So the thing you want to make sure of is that however high you hang it off the ground, whether it's 6 inches off the ground, that you do the same each time you hang it, of course, so that the height is the same each time. My glue gun cord only goes so far, so I'm going to scoot back just a tiny bit here to do the glue gun. So, all right, I'm not going to glue the pocket on because I think I might want to embroider like the words Merry Christmas or something on it. And I didn't do that ahead of time. So I'm just going to leave the pocket, but what I would do is glue down 3 sides of this pocket, and then this is where you can stuff and keep all the ornaments. Okay, so I will post a final photo of this when I finish, and you can see if I decided to add Merry Christmas or not. But we're going to just start gluing the tree piece by piece to the thing. So you'll end up with a lot of spidery webs from the hot glue gun, but a great tip for getting rid of those is a hair dryer. So if you have a hair dryer and you just wave it over your project that has all the hot glue gun spiders, you can, they'll melt away. They'll melt away. So I'm making a little bit of a mess here. I'll have to cover that up. Goodness. I got to be careful here when I'm doing this because it does stick into the fibers. So hot glue and felt are a great combination for projects because literally, especially if you're using felt that's not made from wool, which this is not real wool felt, it's just synthetic, the hot glue gun actually like melts into the fibers of the felt and makes a very permanent bond. So there's no coming off after you've stuck it together. So when I'm done here, if I feel like I want to like tack down some of these corners a little bit more, I might do that, but I'm just going to get it stuck on here initially and see what it looks like, and then if I want to stick it down more, I will. I might kind of like having the edges up slightly, but we'll have to see. Okay, so I'm just going to be building this up, and I need to put another glue stick in. Let's slide this down. I'm limited by the range of the glue gun here. Okay, so we're just throwing some glue on the back, and again, if you want to go back later and add more glue, you totally can do that if you feel like, you know, something's sticking up that you don't really like. But I'm just going to get this tacked down so I can see how it looks and get a feel for the height of it, and see that it's really tall enough. So I think it looks like it's going to be plenty tall now that I've made 2 layers of each part of the tree. 2 layers of each part of the tree, and then I'm pulling them apart. So on the template, the layers are closer together, and I'm extending them to get more height out of my tree, so that we can use this as the kids get taller and taller, and not that it's just for when they're 5. Okay, so, and we'll see if I can make it through this whole project without gluing myself or burning myself on the hot glue gun. And I guess I can't, I'm not really noticing that this is, or double checking that this is going up straight. So hopefully I'm not building a crooked Christmas tree. But when I post the final photo, you can evaluate the straightness of my tree. Okay, and like this template piece, this is the same piece, but you can see how I like flipped it over so that this loop and this loop, you know, are going opposite directions. So you can, yeah, just kind of do it how you want and make the shape of the tree what you think looks best for you. So this template has like rounded tree branches. They're rounded, and then the one on my blog from years ago is more like your traditional pointy type Christmas tree. So, okay. Yeah, Linda, I'm not sure if this angle, or the thing is your angle and my angle are both not a great angle for checking to make sure it's straight. That's why I can't really tell, is because I'd have to like stand down at the bottom and really look at it. So maybe I will stand up to put this top on, because you would really notice if that was off. Okay, so that looks good. And then we'll add one more color piece. And if you didn't hear me the first time, a great way to get rid of all these like pieces of hot glue, I call them spider webs, but they're pieces of the hot glue, is to take a hair dryer and wave the hair dryer on hot over your project, and then it will literally melt all those strings and they'll just go away, rather than I could spend forever picking all these hot glue gun strings off. So, all right, so there we go. The tree is glued down and it's looking super cute and awesome. So, yes, Holly just mentioned if you have a record of your kids at each age from the past, you could totally go back and add ornaments for those past ages and fill up the bottom branches and then continue with the upper branches as your kids get older. So I have record of my kids, not exactly at Christmas, but I could totally just use what I have to go back and mark their height. So All right, so this is going to be my garland. And if you had like little bead thread or, you know, any kind of decoration that you think would be cute, you could use. So it doesn't have to be rickrack. This is just what I found. And I'm just going to, I think, just go like this, back and forth along here as decoration. Okay, so that is the general idea. And then I will put a big star on top, but I don't have any yellow, I don't have any yellow felt with me. So I'm gonna wait to make that until a little bit later. When I get home, I'll go buy some yellow felt and I'll do that. So let's see if I can glue this on. Not sure if my glue gun can reach there or not. Okay, so we've got that one, and then I'm going to try to keep this flat. Put a little bit of glue here. This is where I'm going to burn my finger, people. This is where I'm going to burn my finger. So I think once this is hanging upright, that this will lay nicer. But I'm just going to go through and make sure that it's not, I'm going to try to keep it from twisting here as I glue it. Okay. Just a little dab so I don't burn myself. And if I do think that it's looking wrinkled, I'll get out the iron and I can just go over it real quick like that too. So ribbon or beads. I'm trying to think what else would look really cute for decoration, but there's a lot of different trims that you could use, and kind of maybe either whatever you have on hand or whatever you found when you went to the store. Spider webs all over me. You could use to decorate your tree. So kind of, I like to have some color on the tree, because you know it will be a little while before it fills up with ornaments, unless you already have a lot of older kids and are going back and matching this out. So if you used white on the second tree pieces, it would look like snow. Oh, Lisa, that's a good idea. Yes, so you could do like every other piece with green, or with, and then green and white together, and it would look like your tree is a cute snowy tree. So that's a great idea for variation as well. So you guys are creative. I'm sure you can come up with tons of ways to make this look cute, as cute or cuter than mine, I'm sure. But this is just how I was inspired to make it. But of course, I can't get in here. Of course, you can make it however you think would look best for you, or whatever works best for the space that you're going to hang it in. You know, there's all kinds of different factors you want to take into account. So, are you going to put it on the back of a door? Are you hanging it on a wall? The first ones that I made, I just used kind of a red velvet for the backing. And then this one I've made with a thick red felt. So that's different. You can make the backing different things too. I'm going to have to fold this so I can reach the hot glue. So yeah, just use either what you can find in the store or what you have on hand for the backing, and then some different colors of green felt to make the tree part, and then some colors felt to make the ornaments. And you can either just cut the ornaments straight out of felt, or you can cut them straight out of felt and then add some hand embroidery. Like if you really like hand stitching projects, you could add that. So Destine, sorry, I don't know exactly how to say your name, is saying, how tall is the one I'm making? Well, as soon as I finish this, I will lay next to it and we can get an approximate view of how tall this is, okay? So let me finish this and then I will see if we can figure out the height. If I was at home, I would have a measuring tape and we could just do that, but I don't have that one. I don't have one here. So let's see if we can figure this out. If you download my template, you'll be able to get this, to get it, I can't reach, get it approximately the same. This glue gun will stay warm. I'm gonna finish this with unplugging the glue gun. It stays hot for a while. So I did bring my handy glue gun tray with me. This is what I use in all my projects. It's a total mess, but that's why I use it, because it doesn't matter if glue gets everywhere on it. Okay. So, lots and lots of spiders to pull off, but we'll fix that later. Okay, so I am approximately 5 feet 5 inches tall, and if I put let's see if we can figure out how tall this is. So if I put my feet along the bottom of the red, so if the red were to be on the bottom and I lay down, I would say this is about my height. The tree is about my height. So that means that if we put this at the floor, then I think the top of the tree is about 5 feet 5 inches approximately. You can always either one, start your tree even higher up and do other decorations at the bottom, or you can just say, I'm always going to hang this 5 inches off the floor, and that will also make your tree taller as well, especially if you think you're going to have really tall kids. I'm not super tall. If you think you're going to have really tall kids, then you might want to make sure that it goes up to like 6 feet or whatever. So I think I'm okay that this, I'm hoping my boys will be taller than 5 feet 5 inches, definitely. But I think that, we don't have to measure them when they're 18 either. Probably they wouldn't be so excited about that. So this, I think, will get them through like the majority of their childhood, and is pretty good. So, but you can totally make your tree higher if you want. So. All right, so I'm going to put my pocket back here on the bottom. Okay, so we can see that. That's the pocket where the ornaments will go. And then, yes, so Dawn said it would be cool to make the bottom either for presents or a card holder. So, yes, you could however you want to decorate this. It's just felt, and you could do that. So Nicole just got here. Nicole, we are making a Christmas tree growth chart, and the idea is that you have a pocket full of felt presents, felt ornaments. Somewhere, you can put the pocket at the top. I'm going to put the pocket at the bottom, but you have a pocket of presents on your, hi Danielle, yeah, I can see your comments. You have a pocket full of ornaments, and then each year you measure your child at Christmas and you glue on an ornament for their height. So eventually your tree will be full of cute felt ornaments, and will also be a great way for you to remember how tall your kids were each Christmas, and you can go through and you can talk about, oh, look how much that Susie has grown, or look at how tall Jane is. So now the way that you know like which kid is which is, here's what I'm going to do. do whatever you want. You guys are smart, you're creative, you'll totally figure it out. But what I personally do is I just take the ornament and with a Sharpie marker, I write the child's initials and the year. So I would write like JT 16, and that would be for Jack 16. So, and then I will just take some hot glue and I will measure him. He's tall, he's probably gonna be like up here. I'd measure him and I would just glue it on the tree. So that's how then each year you could come back and like see how tall it is. So if you download the template from my blog, it comes with 6 ornaments. So I started cutting out yesterday bells. So I cut out the bells. I cut out some gingerbread men. The stars, I want to wait until I have yellow fabric or yellow felt. So I'm going to come back and cut out some stars, which yellow on this tree would be a great addition in color. Mittens, stockings, which I'm going to cut out a few of those today while you're watching, and then doves, and I'm going to wait until I have white felt for this, so that I'm just making my ornaments kind of each some different colors so that we have just a bunch of pretty colors on our tree. So I'm going to cut out a few stockings just while I kind of talk about the amounts of ornaments that you need. So what you'll need to have is enough ornaments for each child to measure and use lines to mark the height on the side. Yes, yes. So Brittany, you can use this idea, however you want. You don't have to use the growth chart for the ornaments. The ornaments could be something completely unrelated. But what I do when I give this as a gift is I make sure that I've given enough ornaments for them to measure their child each year until they're teenagers. So, and like someone mentioned, they might want to go back and add in the old years. So what I really should do is give enough from, like 1 to 15. So what I'll do is I'll just make sure that for each child in the family, and if you think they might have more, you should probably include some extra ornaments. But give like 15 ornaments for each child. So here's a stocking I just cut out. And I'll cut out a few. But so do the math and figure out 15. Make sure you have like 15 ornaments at least for each kid in their family. And then if they want to go back and add in, they can, or they can just continue to move forward. So Sherry, it is a little time consuming to cut out all the ornaments, but I just usually do this while I'm like watching TV, and then I keep my hands busy while I'm entertaining myself. So I don't really have a trick to cut them out faster. With felt, it's hard to cut out one layer at a time because it's so thick, it tends to like distort the shape. So if anyone has any great tips that you think would make cutting these out faster, please leave it in the comments. I've been kind of yesterday I cut these all out one by one, but I was watching TV and it didn't really seem like all that long. It could also be something you could do when you're driving in a car, if you're on a road trip. Sometimes I'll take these sort of time-consuming projects with me when I'm stuck in a place and I can't do other, you can't really do anything else if you're stuck traveling or whatever. So these projects can be good ones to take with you. So anyway, make sure you have enough ornaments. Another thing that I would like to try, and I haven't done this, is for each child just choose one ornament shape. And so, someone is a gingerbread, someone is a mitten, and someone is a stocking, maybe a star. So you have 4 kids, you choose these 4 shapes. And cut out different colors of each ornament, so you'll have a colorful tree. But then each year you'll just know that Jack is the stocking. And so you see the stockings, and you know that's Jack. And you wouldn't even have to put the child's initials then. You could just put the year, 2009, 2010, 2012, and etc. And you would know that the same kid would always be the same shape. So that's another option if you want to do that as well. And Brittany says you could always buy them on Amazon. Totally. I'm sure you could buy felt cutout shapes already on Amazon, or you know the craft foam, you know that like foamy stuff. I bet you could buy pre-cut Christmas shapes of craft foam, because you can buy pre-cut shapes of all kinds of stuff of that foam. You know those kids projects where they like glue it all together. I'm sure they already sell pre-cut bags of that craft foam in different Christmas shapes. So there are some options for you if you don't want to cut all the ornaments out, but I think it actually does go pretty fast and it's not so bad. So I'm going to get some yellow and some white and cut out some doves and stars. And then I'm going to finish this by also adding a big yellow star to the top of my tree. And I think I'm going to hand stitch the words Merry Christmas onto this bottom, which will then go down here and be the pocket for my ornaments. So you can see this better. This will be the pocket for my ornaments, and I think if it said Merry Christmas in red thread, that'd be really cute, and then it'll be easy to hang up. So that's my Christmas tree growth chart tutorial, and I hope it seems like this has inspired you guys to think about Christmas decorations and what you might be able to make, and take this idea and really like make it your own. Make it however you want. Don't make a growth chart, just make a decoration, or you know, whatever you might want to do for this. So make sure that you grab the free template for these ornaments and the tree. It's in the blog post link above, so you can just click over to my blog, Naptime Creations, and you can download this template, tape it together, and then have all these ornaments and the tree easy. You can just, you know, cut it out. You don't have to think about the shapes. I've already prepared that for you. And then the other thing I'd love for you to do is follow me on Facebook if you don't already, and join my pattern group. So I have a pattern Facebook, a group on Facebook, and that's where I show off all my new patterns and tutorials, and it's a great place to stay in touch and make sure that you're knowing what's going on my site. So thank you so much for joining me. I had fun putting this together this morning. I can't wait to finish and hang it up and take a picture and show you the final result. So I'll do that when I get back home, probably next week, because I'm at a hotel for the rest of the week, through the weekend. So anyway, thank you so much. I hope you have a great Wednesday night or Thursday, depending on where you are in the world. And I'll see you next week, sewing Monday night at 7:45 Eastern on Spaceships and Laser Beams. So see you there. Bye.